What's going on, housemates? Marcelo here, and I'm recording this video a few hours after Arsenal's 3-1 win away at Brentford at the G-Tech Community Stadium. In what was a really important win and a big win for a number of reasons. I think first, of course, we move back up to second place over Nottingham Forest, create some distance between ourselves and Chelsea, and apply pressure on Liverpool. Second, of course, Brentford had only lost one game at home this season. They had the second best home record in the league after Liverpool and before us. So that in itself is impressive, the fact that we were able to pull off the win. And third, you look at, who we had playing and who was available. Obviously, we're still adapting to life without Bukayo Saka. Declan Rice did not start. Kai Havertz was out with illness. A few really important pieces missing, and we still managed to win in what ultimately was convincing fashion. The opening 10 minutes, we looked really strong. We were dominant. We were controlling the tempo, threatening a little bit. But then, it's become such a recurring thing where teams seem to score with their only chance in games. The XG that we give up is so low always, but it's always happens. And I think you can look at Calafiori a little bit, perhaps. Could he have gotten tighter to Mbeumo? I think, yeah, a little bit. But ultimately, I think that it was a great finish, and Mbeumo's a great player. So I'm not going to hold that against Calafiori too much. And then after they scored, we really did struggle, it has to be said. We went through like a pretty rough 15, 20-minute phase, I would say. The midfield just had these big gaps, and we seemed to be unorganized, and we were really sloppy. Going back to Brentford's goal, Martin Odegaard had a really bad pass. It was just a poorly placed pass that was easily intercepted and, directly led to their goal. And it was a night where Odegaard wasn't really at his best or close to it. But again, I think that it's a positive that we scored 3 goals and won away at a tough place to play without Odegaard, at his best. We equalized thanks to a corner kick. Not your traditional direct from a header moment, but it was very scrappy, bounced around a lot. And then, sorry, I skipped ahead. It's it's the night after New Year's Eve. It was a long night, and I just came back from AFTV, so bear with me. It was a beautiful through ball from Gabriel in the first half to find Gabriel Martinelli. And then there was some chaos there as well. It bounced around, and it fell to Martinelli again, and then Mbeumo couldn't deal with it, and Partey got a nice shot off, and then Jesus followed up with a rebound. And it was good anticipation and movement from Jesus because, of course, he saw the shot being lined up, but then he had to stay on side while also getting in front of the defender, and he finished with relative ease. So good equalizer, and the rest of the half we looked all right. So we rode that difficult period and we got through it, and go into the halftime 0-0 or 1-1, and early second half, Mikel Merino gives us the lead. It was a corner kick. Again, pretty scrappy, ball bounces around, not really able to deal with it, Brentford, and we couldn't quite muster anything, and then it falls kindly to Merino, who's in the right place at the right time, and it's an easy finish for him as well. So we go up 2-1. It's an important goal from Merino because I will say I don't think that he's been at his best still. Hard start to his career at Arsenal, right? First training session, out for a month, then our midfielder, Maestro, Odegaard's out for 2 months, and Merino hasn't really been given consistent minutes. I think he deserves more minutes than he's gotten, maybe. So I hope that, and I think that with more starts, more opportunities, we can see the best of him. We're already seeing off the ball some things that he does well, right? His movement opens up channels. He drags defenders out of position. He is good in aerial duels. He does make some important and smart, timely tackles. I still think, though, that there's more to see from him on the ball, in the passes that he picks, the way that he can, further build momentum in our attack. And we saw that, in highlights or compilations from Real when he was at Sociedad. So, still, though, a really promising second half from him. So that was important. And then I haven't spoken about Ethan Nwaneri, but his full Premier League debut, first time starting at right wing for Arsenal, and he looked great. He really looked inventive, confident, skillful, composed. He really had everything. And for our third goal, he showed that he has that Martin Odegaard floated cross in his bag already at the age of 17, and it was a great floated ball in. And again, it was really three somewhat scrappy goals, it has to be said. But Martinelli's finish, of course, was the best of the three. It was a really smart finish. Was able to squeeze it through a crowd of Brentford players. So there was no chance of stopping it from going in. It was, and it was important for him as well. We want to see more goals from Martinelli. He's not been successful or threatening and taking on defenders really. So it's good to see him still manage to find those opportunities, and he put it away really nicely to really put the game more or less out of reach. And from there, it was, relatively, it was smooth sailing. I don't think Brentford really threatened much. So all in all, a positive result and a really important result for all those reasons I mentioned at the beginning. But especially in the context of life without Saka, the January transfer window has now opened, so we're going to need to make something happen there. I don't think we have a choice whether it's a loan from another league or a signing. I think we got to do something because, I mentioned it in my fan cam on AFTV, but, I think Nwaneri should be our starting right winger while we look to sign a new winger in the January transfer window because he's only 17 still. It's a lot of, demands on him physically at his age. I think he's capable of it, but we don't want to be putting too many minutes under his belt so early on. So a lot of positives. The main negative actually is that Timber is suspended for the Brighton game. So we're going to all but certainly see Thomas Partey starting at right back, and then we'll have a midfield of Rice, Odegaard, and Marino, which I'm happy about. But obviously, it's 2025. We should never be seeing Thomas Partey starting at right back for Arsenal. So, yeah, going to be a tough one, Brighton away, but they have not been in good form for some time now, and we are in great form now. So, I'm looking forward to that game. But I will make a video in the next couple of days to discuss with you, thinking more about the transfer window. So we'll see what happens there. But, going to be keeping a close eye on it like all of you are. So until next time, as always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will be with you again soon. So come on, you Gunners, and peace, everybody.